up, y'all? It's your man Ernest back again with another video. I know I usually take some time in between these videos and uploads, but hey, there's two reasons. Number one, I have to find time to make these videos. Simple as that. Number two, well, three reasons. Number two, gotta find a topic to talk about. I know I talk about myself, but I'm not gonna get on here every day and just vlog my life or talk about. Today, I went to the DMV and I got my state ID and I registered to vote, and that was pretty cool. That'd be a 3-second video, and if you really want to know about my daily doings or whatever, you can just reach out on social media and just ask me that. And number three, relating to the finding time, I gotta find time when I'm alone. I like to do these when I am alone, so if there's no distractions or at least no other voices other than mine, and for me to be able to express myself freely during these videos. So now that that's out the way, I'm going to talk about where settling has gotten me in life. This isn't a video particularly about one situation. I'm not going to name the many situations that I've settled in life in. This video will be really long, and I'm not trying to do that. Also, as I've stated within the introduction video on this channel, when I detail these situations or whatever stories, I will not be naming names. The only person's name that you will know that's involved in these situations is me, my name, Ernest. So with that being said, if anybody who happens to stumble across this channel, these videos, and they happen to be the person or persons that I'm speaking about with these situations, if they decide they want to comment below and detail their side of the story or whatever, by all means they can do so, but they can't be upset when people know who the hell they are, or at least have some idea of who they are now that they've exposed that in the comment section below. So, but this isn't about them, this is about me. No matter what is posted on this channel, it's all about me. And this is about the times and how I felt whenever I settled in life. So, before I get into all that, let me define for those who probably don't know what it means to settle. Again, this is my definition. What it means to pretty much settle, in my definition, is to not go forward with the option or the decision, really, that you wanted for yourself. Now, there's a difference between choosing between your second, third, fourth, fifth, or so best option and choosing something because that's not even an option in general, and you chose that option because you felt like that was the only option presented to you and that you had to make that decision. I'm going to use the example of some candy. Halloween just passed, so we still have some candy up in here. And you see Kit Kat and you see M&M's, right? Say if you're someone who really enjoys Kit Kat, but you like M&M's, but Kit Kat is your number one choice of candy, chocolate, whatever. You go to a store and they're all out of the Kit Kat, but they have M&M's. Now, again, if you're someone who really enjoys Kit Kat, but you like M&M's, and you chose the M&M's, that's not you settling for the M&M's. That's you simply just going with the second best option. Now, if that said same store and a different person, if you're someone who really enjoys Kit Kat or you really enjoy M&M's, and they didn't have the candy that you really enjoyed, but they did have the candy that you don't like at all, that wasn't an option. Let's just say you really enjoy Kit Kat, you really don't like M&M's. And they had M&M's there, and you chose the M&M's, and now you're holding a bag of M&M's, and you're all sour faced, and all that. You had a bad time on Halloween or whatever. You didn't enjoy your candy. You didn't enjoy giving it out or whatever, because, well, if you don't like it, you might as well give it out. But if you are hoarding the candy for yourself, you know. And you still chose M&M's, although You don't like M&Ms or whatever the candy is. You don't like that candy. The store didn't have the option that you like. They didn't have the first, second, or third, or however many candy options that you like. They didn't have all that. They just had things that you hated and things that you didn't want to try. So you chose something that you know you disliked, or you chose something that you didn't know that you disliked because you never tried it before, but then upon trying it, you discovered you don't really like it, or it's not as good as, your number one, number two, or number three option that the store didn't have. But instead of making a move about it, instead of being honest about it, you stuck with that horrible option, or the option you did not know you would dislike until you tried it, and then you disliked it, but you kept on eating said candy. Now, candy is a small example from the big picture of times where we have settled. We as in myself, we as in you, and others around the world have made decisions in our lives that wasn't our first, second, third, fourth, or however many best option in general. Yet we chose that, or we stuck with it because of forever reasons, right? Now with me, I'm going to just use relationships for examples, because that's the one that I guess a lot of people tend to relate to, right? So there have been times in my life where I've settled for relationships with someone that I really wasn't feeling like that, or I just didn't care about at all, to be honest with you, right? But I still got into those relationships because of my own insecurity, because, well, they really like me and I don't want to be mean, so I'm going to give them what they want, and for me not to get anything out of this, because I don't want this, but I'm going to give them what they want. I'm going to be nice about it. I don't want to hurt their feelings, or whatever, right? So I'm just going to do that. That is settling. That's settling right there. And that is no fair to you, and that is no fair to the other person as well. Now, the other person, although they're getting what they want in a situation like that, they're getting you, right? And let's step outside of relationship talk real quick. Let's talk about jobs, right? You applied to a place. You applied to, let's just say, 2 jobs. One job you really wanted, the other one you just applied for, because it was, well, let's not say that, right? Because let's use the example. You applied to 1 job, not 2, 1. 2 jobs presented themselves, though. The one that you really wanted, and the one, this will be the middle finger. The one, not giving you the finger, but the middle finger one is the job that you didn't apply for, and you didn't apply for it for a reason, because you didn't want it, right? The index finger be the one that you really wanted, right? It's a shame. Shame on that job, right? You didn't get that job, right? So you're left with this option. Not giving you the finger again, just giving y'all examples. So you're left with the option that, the other option that presented itself, like the middle finger, but the other option that presented itself, the terrible job. So you're like, well, really, rent is due. I got to get food on the table. I got all these other bills, student loan payments, medical bills, whatever the case is, carb notes and all that shit, right? I got money goals and all that, credit card debt I got to pay off, all that, right? So you take the job, knowing that you don't like the job, right? So you're miserable with that job. Just like the kid at the store who settled for the M&Ms and now they're sad faced with the M&Ms. You're at this job and you don't like it. But you're working it because it's there. It's presented itself. This is one of those situations where it's like, I'm a big proponent in toughing things out. I truly am. I'm truly a big proponent in getting into a situation and toughing it out no matter how hard it is. But here's my disclaimer. That's only worth it for situations that you got yourself into, that you chose, situations that were your number 1, 2, 3, 4 option, situations that you wanted. Such as if you are going to school to be a lawyer, this is something you want to do, and it's really tough passing the bar and studying those exams and all this other stuff, right? It's really tough, but this is something you wanted, tough it out. Same if you're going to medical school. Same if you're going to school to be a teacher, a music producer, a creative writer, a videographer, or whoever, right? Whatever, right? This is something you really want in life. You're not settling by having to go to school and having to do the extra hard, gritty work to obtain this thing that you want. Difference between doing all of that hard work and doing hard work at a job that you absolutely despise, in a situation that you absolutely hate, whether it be a relationship, a job, or whatever, and doing it because you don't want to put in the work elsewhere to find something else. If you were at the store, and I'm using a candy situation again, if you were at the store and they didn't have the candy that you wanted, you can go and do the work yourself and find other stores. Yeah, it might be annoying or whatever, but you can go out and find the candy that you want at another place. You didn't really have to accept the candy that they had there if you didn't like it. It's no fair to yourself. The store person doesn't care because they're getting the money anyways. The company brand who owns the candy and makes the candy, they don't care if you like it anyway. They're getting that money. But as far as if we're dealing with people, it's no fair to yourself that you will put yourself in that situation if you're in a relationship, right? And I'll even go as far as saying it's no fair to the job. Although I'm a big proponent, again, in people saying, fuck this job, I'm out. But it's still no fair. And I've done this in the past. And I wasn't being fair. I'm not saying what I did was right. But I've done it in the past and in the present, where I've applied to jobs, or I accepted a job knowing damn well, man, I don't really care about this shit, but I need some money right now. So I'm going to do this. But I'm not going to do it with the best effort. That's no fair to the managers. That's no fair to what the job entails you to do. It's no fair to the company. You don't have to like it and all that stuff. But again, nobody has forced you in that situation. Same with a relationship. The times where I've settled in a relationship, that was no fair to the individual. I was very spiteful to them. I was standoffish. I was just not the loving individual that they deserve to be with, simply because I didn't want to be with them. It was really that. It was, you're not my option. I only got with you because I was being insecure, or I was horny and I wanted someone to bust nuts in, or whatever the case is. I'm just keeping it real. That's what we do over here, right? And it's like if you were to go to that job and I'm only here for this paycheck. I really don't give a fuck about what the fuck is going on else and everything else, right? I'm just using you for your money. You go to that store. Oh, I only wanted something sweet. Yeah, this is not the candy that I want, but I only wanted something sweet. I don't give a fuck about. They're gonna tell you that store, the person behind the counter, the restaurant, the whatever, are simply just gonna say to you, go to that other store or go somewhere else. That's going to give you the option that you want. And they will be absolutely right in saying so. And that's the advice I'm giving you. As someone who has settled in life, and it wasn't fair to myself, and it wasn't fair to the people that ended up getting hurt in those situations. Mainly, it's not fair to yourself to do it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to give yourself the best life that you want. And settling is not how you give yourself the best life that you want for yourself. Again, there's a difference between first, second, third best option, and rather than just settling because you feel as though there is no choice. I'll give you another example pertaining to me. I want to be a homeowner, right? But it's not looking like I'm able to obtain a home within the next year or so, right? Or at least immediately. We'll put it that way, right? Not 100% clear on the timeline, but it doesn't look like anytime soon I'll be a homeowner, right? I don't want to be a renter for the rest of my life. So what I decided to do was give myself at least a number of at least the next 5 to 7 years to be a renter. That's it. 5 to 7 years. I'll be within that time span. I'll be between the ages of 35 and 37. I'm 30 now, so obviously you do the math. 35, 5 years from now, 35, 7 years from now, 37. So there's that aspect of it. If it happens, if I do become the homeowner that I've always dreamed of being prior to that, then obviously that's amazing. That's what I want, right? So I can't be upset at that, obviously. But it's like, you know what? I'm willing to settle for this. Well, not settle, right? I'm willing to make this decision that isn't the number one option. The number one option is owning a home. So what's the second best option? Because that's how I view it. There's first option, and then there's next best option, whether that be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. It's next, right? First option is the best. Then there's the next best. And then after that, if you're done with all your nexts, however many nexts you had, whatever decision you made, that's the decision you settled on. Me settling would be me saying, you know what? I'm not giving myself a timeline on home ownership. I'm not even going to even try to own a home because I looked in the numbers now and it's not what I want it to be now. So I'm not even going to try no more. You went to that one store. They didn't have the candy that you wanted. So you gave up on searching for the candy that you wanted and you just settled with the M&Ms. And now you're miserable because you don't have the candy that you wanted. Instead of putting in the work and finding other stores that had what you had, that you wanted. With this house situation. Yeah, it's like, you know what? It's not looking like it's a possibility for me now at this moment in time, but I'm still going to continue on so I can get my first best option. But while choosing the next best option, I'm going to rent somewhere that is not here because I'm not happy here, but I'm going to rent somewhere where I feel as though I'm going to be happier. And while I am there, I'm going to make it so that I'm working for my first best option. Again, big difference between settling, finding your next best option, and finding your next best option. Big difference. I probably overused the candy analogy already. Alright? I used the job situation once. I don't know any other examples I could give to y'all to make it clear that there's a difference between the two. And that when I've settled in my life, I was miserable. Straight up, I was miserable. The moments that I settle now, I feel like I'm settling now, those are not moments where I'm happy in my life. So this is a message to you, myself, anybody else out there. Share the video so everyone can see it, but this is a message for all of us. Don't settle. As my guy, I think his name is Mark or Clark Kegley. He's got a YouTube channel. And pretty much his message, or one of his many brilliant, beautiful messages, is to refuse to settle. Not settle for things and lifestyles and jobs or relationships or whatever that you feel as though you have to do. You have to choose from because of whatever the reason is. If you are not happy with that choice, put in the work to find your number one. Or simply do not get other people involved. And that one is really important. Do not get other people involved in your stagnation. Because what happens, and I'm speaking from experience as someone that was getting other people involved in my indecisiveness, in my unhappiness, is it fucks with them. You know, whether it be a job, like I said, whether it be a relationship, whether it be, you know, a decision regarding my education, regarding other people, whatever. If I knew that at those moments I was not happy in whatever that situation was. And instead of being real and honest about it to them, I was very standoffish and put offish and mean and nasty, to put it real bluntly, to them. And that wasn't fair, you know? And if you're someone that feels the need to try to pressure someone to settle because you yourself, if they are your number one option or you yourself are desperate for whatever, you owe it to yourself to be surrounded by people who genuinely just want to be around you, who genuinely want you, you know? If you have to force somebody into a situation, don't expect them to be happy. It's unfair of you to expect them to just put on a smiling face because you have your smiling face on. You have your smiling face on because that's naturally how you feel about this situation. But they're not unhappy. And it's unfair to them that you're continuously trying to keep them in a situation they're unhappy in. You know? Even if you think, oh, it's the best decision for them. If they know what's best for them at the end of the day, which people tend to do, let them do that. Just because you wouldn't choose that doesn't mean that no one else should have that option, or no one else should be able to choose that. But this video has gone on long enough. Do not settle at all. Take it from me as someone who has settled. And I'm talking past, present, whatever. It's not a good feeling. It's not fair to yourself. It's not fair to other people. Depending on the type of person you are, if you want to focus primarily on you, there are moments where being selfish is a good thing. If you're in a mode where you're being selfish, it is not fair to settle because it's unfair to you. If you want something, there's a situation or a predicament you want in life, work toward getting it, even if it doesn't seem like it's going to be attainable right now. I gave y'all the situation of me wanting to own a home. I could have easily said, well, fuck it. If I can't own a home right now, I'm never going to own a home. No, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give myself this timeline. And I gave myself a timeline that I feel as though is going to be longer than what I actually anticipate in my mind. That's probably for another video for another time, but I'm not really someone who like to set goals and timelines, whatever. But when I do so, I always set a number higher than what I truly believe it to be, only because, and this is for me, how I psych myself out. If I truly believe in my mind in 2 or 3 years I can obtain something, I'm going to say I'm going to obtain it 5-10 years from now, right? I'm going to say 5 or 10 years from now, knowing that it can happen earlier, simply because because life works this way, if it doesn't happen within the 2 years, I'm not beating myself up about it. I'm saying, well, I got 2-3 more years left because I gave myself this 5-year timeline, you know? But if it does happen, then I get the gloating and saying, see, I told you, Ernest, you said it was going to happen then, and then it happened then. Do your happy dance, celebrate, get to working, enjoy what you just obtained within the timeline you said you was going to attain it. So I can go on and forever, but I'm going to stop it right there. Hopefully you got something out of this video. If you did, hit the like button, share the video, comment below. Let me know what has happened in your life when you've settled, whether it be in your past and your present. If you want to name certain situations, cool. I would advise you to keep other people's names out of it, just for the very same reason that I said why I don't name people. But I'm not going to tell you what to do. You want to do so, it's your story, it's your situation, it's your life. If you want to do what Mary J. Blige did, my life, and you want to spill it all out there, go right ahead. I ain't going to tell you not to do so. I didn't tell Mary J. not to do so. One of her greatest albums, if not the best, if you ask me. But you do what you want. You do what you want in the comment section below. Just hopefully it's something relative to the video topic. Subscribe if you're not to. Again, share, all that good stuff. And until next time, until next video, y'all. Be good. All right? Peace. One last thing I forgot to say, and I think this is real important, so I had to get back on to say it. There's going to be people in your life, past, present, or whatever, that's going to make it seem as though you're doing something wrong by not settling. Just know those are people who have spent their entire life or the majority of their life settling. And they are going to try to make it seem as though you're wrong for not settling simply because they want other people to make the same bad decisions they made so they don't feel as bad about making those decisions, or they probably don't understand how settling has made them the miserable individual that they are right now. They probably think, oh, I'm only miserable because I don't have money like a rich person. Although money can play, or lack of money and resources and all that can play into why someone is miserable in life. If you go deep down into it, that you actually talk to these people, right? You will find that there have been many points in their life where they settled. They didn't go for their first, second, third, or fourth best option, right? Or they would say they went for their next best option. But in actuality, it wasn't something that they really wanted. They only said it was their next best option because it was an opportunity, once again, that presented itself. Not every opportunity that presents itself is the best option. You know, if you're us, I get job alerts on Indeed, right? Now, I don't know how to swim. I'm keeping it real. I don't know how to swim. But this job keeps, I don't know why, they're like, we think you'd be a great candidate to be a swim instructor. I'm not making this up. I'm getting jobs to teach kids how to swim. Now, I've taught kids plenty of other subjects and things that I know, though, in the past. I don't know how to swim. But a job keeps presenting itself. It's not the best job for me. It's what I'm saying. I don't know if you want someone who doesn't know how to swim to teach your child how to swim. Now, obviously, hopefully, this job would not hire me if I were to apply. I didn't apply for the job. I'm not crazy, you know. But even if I did, and they're like, you're hired because you have all this great teaching experience, and nowhere on my resume did I say swim instructor or swim coach or whatever, or swimming as one of my extracurricular activities, and they still hire me, a lot of kids gonna die. But aside from that, that's an option that's continuously presenting itself. That doesn't mean it's a best option. It's a great option. And that's a somewhat lighthearted example. But there are people in your life, like I was saying, that are going to make it seem as though you're wrong for not settling because they settled all of their life or the majority of their life. You get to talking to these people. You get to listening. You will find that they settled in every single situation that they are in right now. They settled for that job. They settled for that relationship. They continue to be in a relationship and in a marriage and have kids with somebody that they really don't fuck with. They settled for that friendship. They settled for that city. They settled for, that neighborhood, that whatever, right? They settled for these things instead of actually going out, not saying it's going to be easy, but actually going out and getting the number one, or at least the next best option. So don't be those people. Be the individual that goes out and fights for your number one option or the next best option. Again, if you like Kit Kat and M&Ms, don't be upset if the store doesn't have Kit Kats, but you like M&Ms. Go ahead and get the M&Ms, and then in the future, if the opportunity to get your Kit Kats get your Kit Kat, or if you're okay with, I'm fine. I'm fine with these M&Ms. Go ahead and do that. But if the store does not present you any of the options, or the life situation does not present you any of the options that you like, do not just take an option because it's there. go for the options, go put in the work to find the option that you want or options that you want. That's all I'm saying here. Because as someone who's done the complete opposite of what I'm telling you, it's not good. And I'm not trying to end up like the individuals in my life and your life that's telling you it's okay to settle and making it seem as though it's wrong for you not to settle. So that's all I got to say. Till next time, until next video, you hear from me when you hear from me. Peace out.